You thought this was a regular video? No, babe. This is a musical. Cue the tragically misplaced dance number that's entirely too long. Since the dawn of time, or at least since the 19th century, we've used musicals to cope with the emotional and psychological damage life has to offer. Wait, what was that? Oh, just me? Right. Got it. Now, I pride myself on being a lover of niche things. And one thing about me is I love a musical episode, okay? Even if I've never seen a single episode of the show, if there's a musical episode, you better believe I've seen it. And chances are, I loved every single second of it too. Apparently, I'm alone in this because it feels like the majority of the population does not share the same sentiment. And that's fine. We all like what we like, okay? I'm just saying, you should like what I like too. And if you don't worry, I will be convincing you by the end of this video. So I've decided, even though once again, no one asked, to brainwash as many people as I possibly can into buying into my delusion that musical episodes are in fact the greatest art form ever invented. I know I've probably lost about half of you by now, so if you've made it this far, thanks for sticking around and let's get into it. Now, I would like to preface this by saying this is all opinion based and not factual. It's nothing but pathos here, guys. If you're looking for logos, time to logo. Okay? Are musicals cringy? Yeah. Can they solidify harmful stereotypes at times? Sure. One of my favorite things is when the cast of a musical episode is fully aware of how weird and embarrassing what they're doing is. Now, a great example of this, in my opinion, is, dare I say it, Riverdale. Which, like, duh. If anyone's mastered satirical content, it's them.
There's a chance Betty's cries that the sky is falling are true. Look at those instruments of torture.
I also, of course, have to mention Glee while we're talking about satire because, come on. I know technically every episode of Glee is a musical episode, but season 6 specifically perfectly encapsulates the essence of a musical episode. You know what I mean? If you don't know what I mean, just watch this.
In emergencies, even babies can lift cars.
Musical episodes are in a totally different world than full-length musicals. Obviously because they're much shorter, but the plots are also centered around pretty well-known characters, usually with backstories that have already been fleshed out. So in this case, the musical episode is used as more of a storytelling device. So in other words, it's still moving the plot of the season along, just in a different way. I know what you're thinking, Allie. It's simply not that serious. And to that I say, you're right. But I've said it once and I'll say it again. I'm the one with the microphone, so shut up. Of course, one of my all-time favorite musical episodes is the Grey's Anatomy one, and I don't want to hear anything from you guys about that because let me tell you something.
Let me tell you something.
Grey's Anatomy is an incredible show. The fact that they spent the time to perfectly place that episode into the season, guys, not to mention the songs slap. And breathe. Come on! Where is my hype for Kyler Lee? I know she kissed her brother, but like, let's not worry about that right now. Okay, here's where it gets a little tricky. Now, this is why I brought up the Grey's episode, because they really took the time to carefully place the episode, so it didn't feel out of place in the season. However, that's not always the case. Sometimes shows will use musical episodes as a way to manufacture a plot line, just as an excuse to have a goofy little musical moment. And that's still fun to watch, but it definitely feels less organic and almost always leaves the audience going, what the heck did I just watch? Sometimes they'll go as far as to create a conflict preceding the musical episode. My shoulder's out. I'm sorry. Everybody close your eyes. As I was saying, sometimes they'll create a conflict in the episode preceding the musical episode, just so that the conflict can be resolved through the magic of music. Kind of like the evil queen deciding to put a musical curse on everyone for literally no reason at all. The lesson, of course, being good always conquers evil. Captain Hook is kind of a jerk, and the Wicked Witch is really jealous of her sister. Which, like, yeah, but again, we already knew all of that. Adding the auto-tune doesn't magically make it new information. Or randomly breaking up Barry and Iris for literally half of an episode, just for them to end up engaged at the end, like, what was the point? Unrelated, but this song literally makes me cry every single time I hear it, without fail.
All I wanna do.
Side note, why does no one talk about Shrek the Musical? We as a society need to get back to our roots and remember that Shrek the Musical really shaped an entire generation of people. Anyways, the point is, just please don't drop me into a musical that we only ended up in as a result of a crazy set of circumstances, okay? Scrubs, are you listening? I at least need a warning, or I don't know, like a little bit of exposition first. There is an upside to this though. Remember when I said that even if you're not a fan of the show, you can still enjoy the musical episode? This is why that's possible. possible. It's just good old-fashioned fun that anyone can enjoy, even with just a general idea of what the show is about. I wouldn't suggest The Flash or Once Upon a Time episodes for that though, just because they're still pretty lore-heavy compared to like Scrubs, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, that 70s show, the holy trinity of musical episodes, if you will, also known as the Big Three. Okay, I do want to talk about original music for a minute, because while I don't feel like that's a necessity, it's still something that I love for obvious reasons. I mean, I can get down to a reinvented cover as much as the next girl, okay? But again, we've all seen Glee. At least I hope so. By the way, if you haven't, what do you mean? You are not a real person to me. But I'll digress. This is one of the reasons I think musical episodes just don't really work anymore. But that's mainly dependent on my belief that there hasn't been a societally impactful television show released since like 2015. Obviously, Stranger Things doesn't count. But when you really think about it, when a popular television show includes an original song in their musical episode, it really solidifies their place in culture. Because you can lose your spot on a network, but you can never escape an earworm.
And you got a nasty one there.
All I'm saying is, Buffy the Vampire Slayer Once More with Feeling stays on loop in my brain. That being said, here's a list of my top 10 favorite original songs from musical episodes. Coming in at number 10 is going to be Gonna Miss You, Carla from Scrubs. That one's a little niche. You have to have a specific taste to enjoy that, I think.
So, Carla, when will you be back?
Not for a year.
Next, we have Dayman from Always Sunny. Z's Lament from Psych. If you know anything about musical episodes, you know the Psych musical episode is so good, actually. Guys, you have to go and watch these episodes, please. So I don't sound crazy, please.
Please just give me one more chance, please. Please.
Please. Obviously, at number 7, a little low in my opinion, is Super Friend from The Flash.
I'm your super that has a double meaning for us.
It's a little cringe. I will not lie to you, but it's still incredible. Next, we have Nothing Suits Me Like a Suit from How I Met Your Mother for obvious reasons. Crap, I've been watching the show. What's his name? How I Met Your Mother. Barney! It's Barney. Why couldn't I think of that? I love Barney. Of course! Wicked always wins from Once Upon a Time. Selena, you will always be famous to me. Next, we have The Road So Far from Supernatural, but honestly, every song is great. Obviously, at number 3, we have Rest in Peace from Buffy the Vampire Slayer, but as I mentioned, every song on that soundtrack is a bop and a half, okay? Here's my top 2. Love Doesn't Stand a Chance from Once Upon a Time, but I would also like to couple that with Love Doesn't Stand a Chance / Powerful Magic.
There's a powerful magic when two hearts are one.
And then finally, coming in at number 1, Lives in My Heart always. Running Home to You from The Flash. And of course, part of this is because of my extreme and, you know, sometimes concerning love for Grant Gustin. What do y'all know about Smooth Criminal? Anyways, go listen to those songs and just try to tell me that they don't invoke a visceral reaction. I dare you. But at the end of the day, it's really just all about how it makes you feel. For some people, an impromptu dance number does absolutely nothing for them. Me? I can't get enough of it. It warms my heart in a way that I can't fully describe in words. So while I can't tell you how I feel, I can sing it. I'm just kidding. Can you imagine? Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, cool. If not, please keep it to yourself as always. I have some exciting things going on, so just make sure to keep checking in with me. I know that it's a lot to ask. It's tough out here on these streets, okay? Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.